The movie begins in Greece, where charming British agent Aubrey Argyll prepares for dealing with his target, a terrorist named Lagrange. After a short dance, Lagrange instructs her assassins to draw their weapons on Argyll. He then contacts his partner, Kira, who utilizes her technology to help Argyll escape. Lagrange then confronts Argyll and Kira outside and fires at them, shooting Kira in the chest. Argyll contacts his other associate, Wyatt, to capture Lagrange before she escapes. Wyatt catches her and interrogates Lagrange to find out who her employer is. It comes out that she works for the director Fowler, who also hired Wyatt and Argyll. Lagrange poisons herself before being taken in, and Argyll remains questioning who he can actually trust. The scene switches to a book reading by Ellie Conway, author of the Argyll book series from which the character is based, since the entire sequence was taken from the final chapter of the 4th book in the series. After answering a few questions, she travels to her own home with her pet cat Alfie to start writing the 5th book. She spends the evening drafting the entire thing, believing she has finished it before going to bed. Ellie receives a call in the morning from her mother Ruth, who has been reading the manuscript Ellie sent her all night. Ruth thinks the book is nice overall, but the finale is a cop-out, in her opinion. Ellie then begins writing another new chapter in an attempt to give the book a better ending. She considers numerous situations to give Argyll a better ending, but she comes up blank. Ellie chooses to take a train with Alfie to Chicago to see Ruth, who offers to help Ellie finish the book. On the train, she gets approached by Aidan Wilde. He pretends to be Ellie's fan before alerting her that there are individuals on the train who are targeting her. Moments later, a fan approaches with a dagger disguised as a pen, leading Aidan to take action and begin battling assassins as Ellie tries to escape, but she sees Argyll himself in Aidan's place. One of the assassins is a man named Carlos, whom Ellie recognizes from her book reading as a potential fan. After taking Ellie to the train's end, Aidan blows off the doors and parachutes out of the train with her and Alfie, where she passes out in midair. When Ellie awakens, Aidan has cut his hair and said that he took her to a lodge. He warns her that the assassins are from a terrible organization known as the Division, which is overseen by Director Ritter. They believe Ellie's books foreshadow events in their field of work, and they have already read her manuscript for Book 5 and are waiting for her to complete the final chapter. Ritter is shown executing his deputy director for failing to catch Ellie and reacquiring a master file that has the potential to expose all Division operatives. Furthermore, Wyatt is based on Aidan, whereas Kira was a genuine person who appears to have died. Ellie goes with Aidan in his search for Bakunin, the informant who was supposed to provide him the master file. Aidan convinces Ellie to begin writing the next chapter in the hopes of learning where to find Bakunin. However, some admirers record Ellie with their phones, so Ritter and his men listen in. The two appear to a supposed Bakunin flat. They discover nothing but an aperture beneath the floorboards, where Aidan discovers a book with information authored by Bakunin. Assassins from the Division soon began to approach the building, forcing Ellie and Aidan to hide beneath the floorboards. After a moment, Aidan emerges from beneath to begin murdering the assassins. Before others arrive, the two make their way to the roof and jump over onto a trash can below. Aidan takes Ellie to his London home. For safety, he goes into the bathroom and talks to his boss while the shower is running, and Ellie overhears Aidan saying that she needs a bullet in her head. Fearing for her life, she takes Alfie and contacts Ruth to go to Chicago. Ellie arrives and rejoins Ruth before her father arrives, and it turns out to be Ritter. He continues searching through Ellie's belongings before Aidan arrives, reminding her that these two are not her parents. Ruth, actual name Margaret Vogler, pulls a gun and a British accent on Ellie after Ritter abandons the father role. Aidan shoots her and knocks Ritter out before rescuing a terrified Ellie, but sadly leaves Alfie behind. Aiden takes Ellie to meet his boss, Alfred "Alfie" Solomon. Ellie discovers the real Agent Argyle is none other than herself. Her novels were not predictions, but rather recollections from her previous life as a spy. Her real identity is Rachel Kyler, Agent R. Kyler, and she lost her memories following an unsuccessful mission. Ritter and Vogler approached Rachel before Aiden could, and they pretended to be her parents, convincing her that she was always an aspiring writer so that she might record her ideas and gradually bring herself down. They hoped that the latest book would reveal the location of the master file. Ellie is taken aback by the revelation until Aiden engages her in combat, at which point she is able to use her memory skills to defeat him. Solomon informs Ellie and Aiden that the master file is in the hands of a division associate named Saba al-Badr, the Keeper. Both of them travels to Arabia, where Ellie must reappear as Rachel. While waiting to talk with Saba in her estate, Aiden begins dancing with Ellie, mentioning that they used to be romantically involved. Saba sees Ellie alone and speaks with her, and she performs well enough as Rachel for Saba to give her the master file. The division finds Ellie and Aiden, captures them, and transports them aboard their enormous ship. Ellie had just realized she was an asset to the division. A flashback reveals that she murdered Bakunin before collecting the master file, and the explosion caused by his flat self-destructing resulted in her memory loss. She also needs to pretend that she does not care about Alfie, who is in Ritter's custody. To save herself, Ellie shoots Aiden in the chest, tricking Ritter into thinking she is on their side. In fact, she shot him in an exact location so that the bullet would pass through his chest, but miss the heart, with survival depend on stemming the bleeding quickly enough, as Ellie learned from a fan theory on how Kyra could have been brought back. Aiden escapes and kills his captors before heading to help Ellie. Ellie has one more hallucination of Argyle, assuring her that she never needed him to do what he could do, before confronting Carlos and his goons, who are forced to cease firing when crude oil begins to flow. Ellie suddenly recalls one of her childhood memories, ice skating, so she ties some blades to her shoes and slides across the oil, slashing through the assassins before confronting Carlos, ending with her slamming a dagger into his heart. She shoots the remaining assassins before she and Aiden eliminate every enemy on the ship as a pair, with plenty of flair. Alfie then jumps at the villain and starts clawing at his face, allowing Aiden the opportunity to shoot and kill Ritter. Unfortunately, Alfie clawed out his eyes because a retinal scan was required to finish the transfer, but Aiden discovers another solution. The couple begins sending the file to Solomon, but Vogler appears with a music box, mind-controlling Ellie to try to kill Aiden and causing her to pause the transfer. Aiden battles Ellie reluctantly, almost dying, until a masked intruder jumps aboard the ship and brains Vogler with a wrench, leading her to drop the music box, which shatters as it hits the floor and cuts off Ellie's mind control. The assailant is Kira, who survived her gunshot wound in the same way that Aiden did. As it turns out, Kira was the one who presented the theory to Ellie. The three, along with Alfie, send the rest of the master file before leaving the ship and explodes, killing Vogler and anybody else left alive. Ellie and Aiden finally share a kiss. Ellie returns to her writing role and completes Book 5, giving Argyle a genuine happy ending. She returns to the bookstore for another reading, and a fan questions her about what happened to the characters after the story. Ellie claims that, hypothetically, Solomon gained high honors from the CIA for exposing the division, while Kira grew to prominence in the IT industry, and Ellie and Aiden look to be together. Before Ellie finishes things, another admirer, who resembles a nerdier version of Ellie's vision of Argyle, comes up to ask a question, while simultaneously implying that Ellie may have questions for him, which surprises her.